Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of A King's Tale. We're going through the Plains of Duskai this time. And we're searching for the crystal that flew away when we were exiting the city there. I don't know why it was flying past us. We have some new enemies, the gorillas here. They're like big elephants, mammoths. I think we saw one of these in the opening of the game of 15. I think it was on the side of the road when you're pushing the car, but I'm not sure if that's what it was or if it was something else. He is also gonna mention here that like it's weird that the regularly peaceful creatures are attacking, and that's something that I've noticed in the main game as well. Is that there's just like a cloud of darkness around the head of one of the little creatures that I was, well, it's not a little creature, that I was fighting. And Gladiolus points it out too, like, you know, that it's being aggressive and to be careful. So I think there might be something that's upsetting the animals, but I'm not sure. It might be something different in this game because we saw the shadow guy talking. And then we have some killer bees that are actually just wasps because they're assholes. Well, that's more or less what I said the first time I recorded this, because this is now the second time I've done this, because last time I was about a third of the way through and my computer decided to blue screen on me. So I lost everything and I'm now doing this again. So to me, I'm saying everything twice. I don't really feel like going through my bee story. But I guess I will. I think I told it on one of the other episodes we've done. There's the red bee wasp thing here that's just a stronger version of the yellow ones. Well, I was riding my motorcycle home from work, and a fly or insect like bounced off my face mask, and I kind of thought like, oh, hopefully that didn't go into my shirt, because it fell straight down. No, it went straight into my coat and like underneath my shirt, and then all of a sudden I felt it like crawling around on my chest and thought, well, hopefully that's not a bee. So I started pounding my chest to try to crush it before it could potentially sting me, which just pissed it off. Not really a surprise, but I really thought that it might like daze it or kill it, because I was really hitting my chest pretty hard. But I guess through my leather gloves and leather coat, it wasn't concussing me enough. So I pulled off the side of the road. In the meantime, it bit me, and it bit me again by the time I was able to pull over. I thought it was stinging me, but thankfully it was just a couple bites, which are they were like healed by the next day. There was still like a little mark, but all the pain was gone and stuff. That's the thing. I don't mind bees, and like once I pulled over, I just kind of like brushed it off me, and it just kind of got up and flew away. I got no problem with bees. Wasps are another story entirely, because they just sting because they can, because they don't have a barbed stinger, so they can do it as many times as they fucking want. They bite as well, of course. So I think, I don't know if we're close enough to it yet or not, but at some point here, just like my computer, the game's gonna crash on me, because it just decided to do that in the middle of my recording. What else was I gonna talk about? Today I spent the first hour after I got home from work shoveling snow, or more accurately, shoving ice out of our driveway. They're introducing the blue flan soon, so they're giving me fire magic here, I believe. And because I didn't have enough for Blizzard, I realized that I just hit these guys enough, it actually helps to build your little combo meter. And eventually they'll like split in half, because you only do 1 damage each, so it's a good way to just... There's the crash. I don't know why it did this. Maybe it was because it was like the first day, but oh yeah, I guess I was up pretty late recording that. So it didn't really crash, it just kind of minimized and came back up, and I was in the same spot. But yeah, so they break in half, and then you kill the smaller halves and they're done. But you can use that time to build your armature or your combo to whatever you want, especially when you have no other enemies around. So yeah, I spent most of the day, well, not most of the day, but the hour after I came home shoveling the ice, which had, most of the snow had been just plowed when I got home. The snow plow came right after I got in the door, which is kind of too late. They should have done it yesterday, because it all froze overnight, and therefore now it's ice. It snowed yesterday, I didn't say that. I'm mixing it up with the previous recording where I'd already said that by now. So yeah, I literally was out in the driveway just hitting the snow with a hammer, because we don't have any salt either, because it's like a communal complex thing that they're supposed to apply the salt, but I mean, if you have your own salt, then whatever. So yeah, I didn't have any salt. I just took a hammer outside and started cracking the ice in different spots, and then I'd shovel it to break it all up and toss it aside. I wanted to use like a 2x4 or a log to brace against the hammer, so I wouldn't have to like crouch all the way down to the ground to hit it. It might make it easier. It would make a larger dent in the ground too. Or like, I don't have a sledgehammer, so. And just before my computer crashed, I was about to talk about the even worse lack of competence in people driving when the snow comes down. Like, people just panic, so it just makes things worse. And we finished this level here. I don't know if the next one here is just like the evening in the plains. I think it is. It looks like it's like sunset and the reflection there. And we found Sid, who is also from the main game. He's the grandpa of Cindy. Not my favorite person, Cindy that is. But I hope that Sid plays the role that he does in most of the Final Fantasy games, wherein that he's usually the one that helps you obtain an airship, which unfortunately I saw a little like trailer or whatever for playing Final Fantasy 15, and it showed the airship, so I kind of know what's coming up, but I won't tell any of you what it looks like. It does look cool though. So the crazy drivers out in the snow, it only takes like 10 minutes on the road to witness ridiculous things. When I was coming home from work, I was going up to a green light and I was following the car behind me. There was like half a car to a car distance between us that's empty. And you know, I'm only going like the speed limit because I don't want to go too fast. If I do have to stop quickly and I happen to hit a patch of ice, I'd rather have an extra bit of space for breathing in, regardless of whether or not people are happy that I'm doing exactly the speed limit. If it's snowing or pouring rain and dark, I'm going to do exactly the speed limit. So I come up to the intersection, and just as I'm entering the intersection on a green light, the car from the right side going the opposite direction, like through the intersection, turns right, which is a thing you're allowed to do in Canada. You can turn right on a red light. But he just turns right in front of my vehicle, which thankfully because of the space between me and the other car, there was enough time for me to stop, but I don't know why he thought it was a good time to go. There definitely wasn't enough space, and even going just the speed limit, I was still going way too fast for him to do it safely. Then on the way back down, when I was driving to head to the store a little later, I came down just past the same intersection and witnessed a second set of headlights in my lane coming towards me, because a taxi cab decided that he wanted to pass a truck that was just like a big work truck. I don't know if it was stuck, but by the time I got there, it was already moving. So he'd pulled into the opposite lane of oncoming traffic, which is, it's a 2-lane road, and there's nowhere else for you to go except to up on the sidewalk. So I just kind of slowed down because I saw him from far enough away because he had his headlights on. But just, I don't know why he needed to pass the truck. He didn't have a fare, so I guess that's the only time they need to go quickly in a hurry, when they're on the way to get a fare. So here we have the Midgar Sormer. I don't know. I mean, I'm used to the Midgar Zolom from Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if that's the right name or not, but it's a creature that's very similar to this. It's like a giant snake. And boy, was that thing the source of a nightmare before I fought it, because it's just, you go up to a marsh, and you just see a snake swimming under. And you can try to run across, but it'll catch you. And then you gotta fight it. It's not a difficult fight by any means, but I think it's either just after or just before you get your first, like, chocobo, and I can't remember. So I don't know if I can't remember if I've used Sid yet. I probably have to show him, but there's still a third-party member that we haven't met. I don't know who he's supposed to be in relation. My theory would be at this point that I haven't done any more recording of this since this one. My theory would be that he's either Gladiolus's father or the kind of captain of the guard guy that you see with Regis at the beginning of Final Fantasy 15 in the cutscene when he's walking down the stairs to come after Noct to say his final words before he goes off on this journey. Can't remember his name either. Too many names. I don't know why they went with, like, Latin names, I guess for more of, like, a regal setting. So I guess I'll use this game to talk about my feelings on Final Fantasy 15 so far as well, because I mean, there's not a lot going on here other than I'm just crawling my way across the plains to look for the crystal. So far, my number one thing that I've always liked with the Final Fantasy games, and most games honestly, the thing that gets me hooked and keeps me coming back for one reason or another is usually the music. And Final Fantasy's always had excellent music. Nobuo Uematsu is an excellent composer. He's also done some other games. No major ones that I am going to name right now. The other one, I don't know if he worked on Spirit of Mana. I know, was it Yoko Shimomura? I think she's the main composer for it. Yeah, I actually have the CD for Legend of Mana beside me. Yeah, Yoko Shimomura is the main composer and arranger and producer, actually, is what is written on the CD. So I'm defending the crystal here, which is a different crystal. It's a yellow crystal, so is that the Earth? Yeah, because there's no lightning crystal. The previous one we saw was blue, so I'm going to assume that's the water crystal. And there's always four, well, there's usually four. I think, what was it? It's number 5 that had more? I can't remember, it might have only had 4. But yeah, the basic elements, earth, fire, water, wind. Yeah, that's right. I didn't double up on this. Yeah, so this would be the Earth Crystal. It makes sense, actually, because it's in the plains here. And the blue crystal was kind of just flying away from the city. I don't know why it was flying away. I really tried to get that one to see if it would get me anything. That's the little mammoth, whose name I totally haven't forgotten at all. So like I was saying, the music is always usually my number one thing. It looks excellent graphically, but looks aren't everything in a game, and I've probably said this before in some videos. Like, gameplay is going to be more important than visuals, which a lot of people don't understand. Generally, most gamers, not necessarily who are younger, but just who haven't played games quite as long, don't understand that the way it looks isn't the point of the game. And the problem with a lot of games now is they tend to be rushed. So I didn't realize that I could do anything with this. And maybe this is the Wind Crystal, because that would be why Ramu is who I summoned, but I'm not sure. So the line of dialogue that I skipped over there from Noctis was, Ramu, you summoned Ramu, the Fulgarian, which I guess the Fulgarian is the name for the gods there. There's the evil dude who looks like a friggin' gross creature. It looks like Ultros, but I guess we think that he's the one who's pulling the strings. So I kept going here. My objective was to stop whenever Regis would resume his story cutscene, sort of like in the palace. So now we're chasing down the evil guy who's potentially pulling the strings and stuff. And now we're actually on the path of the blue crystal, because the crystal Sid saw was a yellow one. But we think it's disappeared into a cave that's at the end of the level here. So one more stretch of plains to go before we can go into the caves. These guys suck. I'm supposed to shield bash to defend against their claws and attack when they're doing their whisker thing, which I didn't understand when they were doing that at first. Like, I thought that was electric because, you know, it's lightning bolts above their head. What else means electricity? But no, that just means they're attacking. And so I just would preemptively hit him with my shield, but then it just doesn't do anything, which I think these guys almost killed me. They may have actually killed me, I can't remember. And then, of course, the yellow ones are the tougher version this time. I don't know why they didn't keep it the same with yellow and red, but, well, I guess they didn't for the other ones. You had red and blue and yellow and red. So while these guys are busy kicking my ass, yeah, that's their electric shit, which, again, like a shield bash, and he's already in the middle of it, so it doesn't do anything. I think they are gonna kill me. I don't know, I don't remember. What else is new in my life? I have a new job. I'm working in like a printing shop. Pretty nice place. They're really nice people. My boss is hilarious and always cheerful, which takes a lot to get a smile out of me or get me in a good mood. But some of the stuff he says when we're just working, like either reacting to our terrible like machine that I can't remember the name for the specific machine, but it collates the paper and then it staples it and cuts it and folds it. And then, so that's the way we make like pamphlets and calendars and booklets and stuff. So that's what I mainly work on, but this thing is like 10 years old and it was used before they got it, so who knows, maybe it's like 15 years old, I don't know. And it's got all the personality of an old machine where it's stubborn and it just stops working. And it won't tell you why. Always, it'll tell you like an error number, but that doesn't really mean exactly what the problem is. It's also exactly what you'd think with like old technology. Sometimes if you just like kick it, it'll be okay. Or you just have to adjust a little thing. A lot of the like springs and bolts and stuff have gone missing or fallen out or broken over time. So sometimes you just have to manually find whatever roll or whatever that's controlling conveyor belt that's stop moving and move it back into place. But yeah, it's a really nice place. I'm happy to be working there, but I am working like full-time now. So recording with Tyler might be a little less even than it was with our last, like, during November when we had a crazy month with stuff. But now that I'm editing on my own, I'm able to record and get stuff out regardless of what's happening with either of us. So we don't necessarily have to find time to record together. It's a definite bonus. I definitely want to keep playing games with Tyler and doing videos and stuff with him, because the co-op just makes stuff more interesting, somewhat more relatable. You can see two people's skill level versus just me, because I know, like, I'm not too great at this game. It's still a pretty easy game, so I'm doing fine. But again, co-op in this game would be an excellent idea. But I think it's probably too late to that. I don't think we'll see a co-op update. It would be awesome. I'd love it. I also happened to notice that on one of our videos today, on my Final Fantasy episode I did, it had a Final Fantasy ad, which I thought was kind of funny. Other new stuff in my life, I don't know if I mentioned or not that I'm going to be going back to school sometime, maybe in the summer for a little bit. It won't be as much during the summer as it will be come next fall. Looking into doing geography. When I was in high school, I never got to go and do a geography class because there was only one class when I was in my final year, and it filled up almost immediately. Once I got to my first university, I took, I think, 4 geography courses. Yeah, we have a behemoth here. Why did I say behemoth? Weird. I've been talking for too long. I also have I know I said I had a sore throat, but I think I might have tonsillitis. Not tonsillitis. The hell? Strep throat. I have tonsils, so I get strep throat occasionally. And it's been that way for like a week now, so hopefully it's going away. That's about all the time I have for this episode. Looking forward to going back to school for geography. Really enjoyed it at my first university. It's what I took an interest in. Found it kind of cool. Lots of stuff you can apply it to. And I like the idea of having the option to work outside, but likely working inside with that stuff. So yeah, kick that behemoth's ass, and next time I record this, I'll have the audio to go along with it before do more active recording stuff way easier. So back in the palace, talking about the next level here with Noctis, we'll be going into the cave. And yep, just head first into the cave. Didn't bother to bring a flashlight or a torch or anything like that. Of course it was slimy. Why wouldn't a cave be slimy? It's made of rock. All rocks are slimy. Come on, kid. So thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.